paste. You know what? Nah, I'll just leave the card. I like my Twitch card. There we go. Okay. So, something I haven't done in a hot minute is turn on my camera. I had it sitting here all this time, and I have yet to have turned it on in forever, really. And kind of feeling like having it on for a while. We have Munchie with me. Hi there, girl. She's in her typical spot. And I am going to be doing a little bit of work on rigging, because I talked about this on Twitter earlier about I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to facial rigs. I don't know the best sort of thing to go about to do that. Let me put this up here. I'm blocking the loading. But I really don't know when it comes to working on rigs what the best choice is to make the rig, because the rig is all about the control. That's the point of having a rig, is to control something, right? Well, one of the issues that I have, I swapped it here. That's a lot more vibrant than it normally is. 1 second. I'm gonna mess with the filter here. 1 second. Why is that more vibrant than it should be? Saturations. Huh. I don't know why it's more vibrant on this version than the other one. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. But so the thing that I've kind of wondered is, what is the best facial rig that you could really make? I don't know the answer to that. I've seen a lot of, I've seen some rigs where there's a lot of sort of floating UI up in here in this sort of general area. And it controls a whole bunch of aspects about the face. And, well, I have a pose asset library down here that I can use. That I can control the facial expressions, just like this, and I can tween in between. It's stuff like that. Sometimes you can reverse the polarity of the expression and have it do shit like this. Just in case you want to, I suppose. But why do we necessarily need to have controls out here to control the face if we can, do all the same by tweaking here, really? I don't really know, but to kind of give an idea of what I think is going on, well, I saw this before, and it's in the, it's a constraint called the Action Constraint. So let me demonstrate this here in a second. Let me just sort of grab all these facial controls here and get rid of all this. And why don't I add a new layer? Let's add a new one. Why don't we add something that we'll add? What do I want to do? You know what? We'll make a new collection. We'll call it, where is it at? This. Expression bones. I don't know what really to call it. We'll just leave it like that. And then we'll go into edit mode and we'll add one. Bones into hidden collection. There it goes. Okay. There we go. We have our bone. We'll call this, I don't know. Let's call it angry. Or wait, we have to have some prefixes. So let's go with emotional, mechanical bone. So emo mech, I guess. A really angsty show about mecha, emo mech. There you go. And then what we need to do is we need to make an action. So, let's do this. We'll make a new action. We'll call this action state, I suppose. And then we'll do angry. And what we need to do now is basically we need to make a action of him from his least extreme to his most extreme expression in terms of anger. So we'll do this. We'll just make some keys there. And then we'll go, let's say go to frame 5. Doesn't really matter where we put these frames, but we need to put them somewhere. So we'll do angry. And then let's make it a Bezier curve. So it's a smooth transition. And then we'll do, what's here? Whoop. There we go. So you have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next expression would be here. There we go. So, this should not have anything in it. So now we need to push the anger more. So how do we do that? Where do we go? So I think we need to push. First of all, they need to be mirrored. So we'll push the brows close together. Bring them down more. Start bring these down more. Maybe bring the cheeks up because you're scrunching that face in. There we go. We need to pull these out a little bit because the eyelids don't like linearly move into the face. They kind of wrap around the eye. Let's pull this out a bit more as well. And then it kind of scrunches the nose up some. So let's push that some as well. Bring that in, bring that in. There we go. How's that look? So there, and we go further, we go there. Maybe that needs to come out more. Let's come down more, perhaps. Kind of trying to feel in my face where it needs to be. There. Pull it down a bit more. He angy. I'm kind of expressing myself, just trying to get a feel for where it needs to be. Okay, so there's that, and then that. It's kind of an interesting transition. Maybe this needs to come back more. Yeah, there you go. I think that's a pretty good transition, anger transition. It's pretty simple. Like, you know, I'd say that's pretty angry, and that's even more angry. So, perfect. We'll have that. That's our anger state. Great. And make sure they all... Whoop. Make sure they're all keyframed, so that way they transition, I suppose. Perfect. Now, here's what we need to do. So, basically, the way that I've seen this done is there is a bone that is going to store a sort of slider information to tell when to turn things on. So that's the emotional mechanical bone for anger. So what we do now is we need to go into this. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. All these bones are going to get a constraint called the anger. Well, it's an action constraint, but we're going to call it, I guess, emotion anger. I guess we're going to target our character armature. We're going to target the emotional mechanical bone, angry. And then we need to set a specific parameter that is going to cause it to enable and start this actual constraint from actually doing something. So then we'll do scale, I guess. We'll do scale on the y-axis. I guess from 1 to negative 1.5, maybe. So 1.5. And then we'll do action state, action state. I added 2 O's to the name of the expression. Great. So action state. Let me correct the name of it. And we're going from 1 to 9. Right? So when I scale this bone. Oh, that's correct. Hold on. I need to do a little bit more. As of right now, this constraint is only on this particular bone in the entire face. Well, I have to hit Control A to select all the bones it needs to conform to. And then we're going to hit Control. We're going to hit Select Copy Constraint, and we're going to do Emotion Anger because that's what it's for. That's what this action constraint is supposed to do, right? And now, when I scale on the y-axis on this bone, what should happen is let me do this as well. Let me clear the action at the moment, because when we played it, it should transition through, it should play the action, right? So, if we clear it, it now no longer plays. So now the only way that it should play is if we scale this bone, right? So if we scale on the y-axis, there it goes. So that is what we can use to control the expression in the face. And we could do that for several other things. Say, for instance, we could do other expressions for, like, blinking. We could do expressions for sadness, happiness, a plethora of spectrum of expressions that we could do. And I suppose I could start working on that just to kind of fiddle around. Mainly, I'm just doing this to play around with, because I personally don't know what the best approach to do this is. So basically, we'd have a bunch of different versions of this expression. Okay. So those are the different types of mixes. All right. I have another. That's why. Delete that. Get out of here. We don't need that. I believe I also had one for blinking. So basically, we only need it when his eyes are closed. That's the only expression that we need out of this, because we can just reverse it to undo the blinking. We'll just delete that. And I think what I'll do is I just want these bones in here. That inner ring. So if we invert that selection and just delete it, now we should only get those eyes. There we go. So let's make it. Thank you. That's a YouTube subscriber. They might not even be watching this. Thank you. A Gambitol. Sounds like a chemical. Gambitol. Or medicine, maybe. Are you feeling high on your luck and wanna make a something or other? Gambitol. I was not quick on my feet for that. I laid that joke down like a dead cat. Make something of it. I found this. All right. Blank. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Basically now we would take this. We can just close that out. We just take all of these here. We could add a new constraint, a new action constraint, targeting that. We'd basically do the same thing we typically do. So Y scale 1 to 1.5, and the blink animation plays on. It's instantaneous basically. Let's set that to Bezier and remove that. There we go. So we'll just have eyes blink. Set this to local space. And then it was frame 1 to 2. Why is that still... What's broken here? Something is incorrect, and I don't know what that is. Oh, it doesn't have an action selected. That's what it is. Fair enough. Blink. There we go. Actually, that's... Yes, that's the one. Action state blink, so that way we're more explicit in detailing out the information that we need to add. And then let's just clear this stuff out. And then we can do this, copy eyes blink. Actually, before we do that, so this controls that, right? So if we already have the anger state and we do this, we're gonna have a problem because I'm pretty sure. Let me just see if we'll just see how this plays out real quick, just real quick. And we'll do copy selected constraints I. So now all of these should have constraints for the I. Yes. So when I apply the scale on this, will it have problems because it's already being deformed by the anger constraint right here? It would appear so. It would appear so. Also, it would also appear. I'm currently also editing the animation for the blink. That's not good. So we're kind of having some cyclical issue here. Well, 1 second. Let's clear that. Return the scale. There we go. Okay, that should not have any keyframes on this action because that could obviously cause problems. Those are good. And these, I think, are out of date. They're currently clipping through, so we'll just use my newer version for the eyes closed. There we go. That's the one that it should be using. Yes, there we go. Set that to Bezier. Get out of this. There we go. So when I scale this, we should have anger. And when we scale this, I think... That seems to work pretty good, actually. I was afraid it wouldn't. I was afraid that it wouldn't at all. But I think that's moderately okay. I'm not too convinced that it's good. Also currently having trouble with it. Okay. So let me do something real quick. We'll put this up here, and we'll put this up here as well. I don't really care where they're at. That's not important. Let's make another one for Happy, right? Action state Happy. I think that's mostly in like the cheeks. Cheeks and eyebrows, where you would see that as a part of the expression. Hey, thanks, Crystal Claude. Thank you. All right, so now we're gonna have Happy expression. Let's go, I guess, the same as we had before. Now, gonna try to add some happiness expression to him. Impressive amount of bones for the face. And, you know, there's a decent amount here. And then here... Why is it? It's like defaulting to Bezier. Well, it's defaulting to... What is that? What is... I don't know what that is. I think it's defaulting to... No, that's Bezier, but... What are these lines? Because typically when you do Bezier, it should look like that. But there's little lines across the way, which would imply it's like a constraint of some sort. Yeah, and kind of looking at this and sort of looking at the non-linear, well, the graph editor, and I can't really tell a difference. I don't know. All right, so now we're at... Okay, that's moderately happy. Let's add another one. Let's... There you go, even more, you know. We're just kind of working on the eyes right now. We can, you know, add more to the mouth later. Because you know, there's a separation in the expression for mouth and eyes. Yeah, you could have a certain expression in the eyes, but the mouth will tell an entirely different story. Do that. There we go. Let's see, what else do I need to alter? I think that'll do for right now. I don't really care all that much, but it's just sort of a matter of, oh, it didn't key all that great. I forgot to have auto keying on. Okay. There we go. I think that's a pretty good happy expression. I could push it a little bit more, maybe. What would that look like? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Let's try pushing it even more. Yeah, if we wanted to actually have a little bit actual sun. There you go. Actually use the mouth to actually help express as opposed to driving it all with the eyes. But we're just trying to keep, worry about having eye expressions right now, and then we can add mouth as well later. But also, I'm still just playing around with the idea of using a face rig in and of itself. Up. There we go. And that. So, what I think would be a... Uh-oh. There we go. Let's clean up that unused stuff. Great. Now we're going to need to bring back... Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Expression bones. Put them on the thing. There we go. So what we need to do now... Basically, you know what? Here, let me... I should be able to do... I think I could do a preset here. Expression control, maybe? Maybe that could work. Ah, I used special characters. It did not like that. All right, so if I do, expression control, yeah, it just doesn't want to do anything because it's got these special characters. So maybe that might fix the problem if I get rid of them. Does that work? Nope, it does not want the hyphen in it either. So we'll clear that as well. Try it again. Why? Why are you doing this? Okay, well, I guess we'll just not use a preset and we'll just do it all from scratch. Fuck me, I guess. Okay. Okay, so now we basically need to make another one of these. So this is emotion angry. This will be emotion happy. So damn it, get out of here. If we copy that to all of them, wait, don't do that just yet. I haven't even set up the modifier or constraint or whatever. So we'll do action state. Where's the action? What have I done? I don't know what I have done. Is it here? No. What the fuck's happening? What happened to my fucking action I just made? Ah, fuck. You kidding me? It like completely destroyed my fucking action. What the fuck? You piece of shit. Wait, planet? action? No, that's not it. Ah, Jesus Christ. Why did it delete my shit? Fuck. Fuck. Of course. Of course it deleted it. Yeah, good. God damn it. Why is Blender fucking a piece of shit sometimes? I only wanted to show the thing off. The thing that I wanted to show off. Also, it's getting really hot. I need to take this thing off. Ugh. Yeah, I wanted to wear something neat, so I wear this blazer, but it's way too fucking hot. My arm is stuck to the inside of it like it's fucking Velcro. God. Fucking Jesus. Ugh. Okay, let me try this again. You know, the second time's the charm when you're doing things, right? Because that's when you expect things to work. After you do them correctly the first time and, you know, the gods of animation that told you to go fuck yourself. Okay, second time. So, we'll try to make a happy expression. Whoop. I know what that was. Pull that. Make sure it's keyed. So help me God. Turn the fucking auto key on too. Ugh. Alright. Now we go to 9. We'll fucking do this again. We'll push the happiness expression just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All I wanted to do was to show this off. And Blender said no. Alright. There. Like, now why don't we push these a little bit? Is that good? Sure. It makes me think of like Elder Scrolls animation. Right, good. Fucking, I'm gonna fucking shield this motherfucker. Fake user so it doesn't get deleted for some stupid reason. Do this again. Alright, so these should not get deleted. Now let's try this again. So, this. Damn it, turn that off. So now, is this where I had it? Yes, that's where I had it. So, action state happy. And it needs to target that. So now, I'm pretty sure the happy action was also only 9 frames long. Yep, yes it was. So when this scales, it should toggle. Local space. Why it's not doing anything at the moment, I don't know. Okay. Because those didn't do anything, yes. So the issues that I saw with the system using this, which is the whole fucking reason why I was trying to make it in the past 5 minutes. So, when we scale on, say, the happy animation, you would also maybe want to go from happy to sad, or happy to angry. Combining that kind of combines them together. which, you know, maybe you want, but I imagine you'd probably want more of a toggle between the two. So then you'd probably go have to make another bone, right? So this would, let's see, move that this way. And this basically could act as sort of an analog between the two, right? So if we move it up, maybe that makes it happy, and move it down, we makes it sad, or whatever. We could do that real quick. So let's do a, where is it? Transform constraint? Where is that? Transformation. There we go. So when we move this in, I don't know, 0.1 on the z-axis. So map from 0 to 0.1. We map the z-axis. Oh, make it scale. My bad. So we're going from scale. We want that to that. Oh, this is also in the world space. We need to move to local. So when we move it up, 1 second. There it goes. So that moves it up. That makes it happy. And when we move it down, we can do the same thing. If we copy the selected constraint, there we go. And then we flip it down. So we need from min of minus 0.01? Or do we want, I always forget how this works. So if we move it down, okay. So I think we want a maximum of -0 and that. So it should, how does this work? Because we're at a location of 0. Why is this? I don't know why this is working the way that it is. Uh-oh. I deleted the modifier entirely. So if we move it in the positive, well, that's where we need it to be, right? We don't want that. Yeah. So that's a no-go. Don't want that. Fuck. So we don't want that. We move it in the negative. Then it's on by default and turns off when we move it down, which that doesn't make any sense. So that's not correct. Unless, 1 second. There we go. Now let's maybe flip these. So 0.15, whoop. So point. There we go. Now that it works the way that we want it to. There we go. So basically we could create an analog stick using the transform constraint. And it would allow us to have various different expressions along a wheel. But I just don't know necessarily the point of really having this. Because, I mean, we could just save expressions to, like, the pose library, right? So why don't we just use the pose library? I see a whole bunch of rigs that kind of set up a constraint system like this where it has all these different UI components across the head. And why do we need that? I mean, isn't it easier to just control it from here? I mean, this seems pretty easy, just clicking on certain things and just it applies it automatically, you know? I don't necessarily see the point of having a system that allows us to have like an analog of facial expressions when you can just store them and save them when you want them, like this. That's basically the whole reason I wanted to show this off, is because I don't see the point, really. Because if you want to have ready access to them, you can just click and you have them, right? You can just go and I want to have this character's face, and if I had them properly organized, they would isolate everything else out and I could have them. I guess I forgot to do that earlier when I was making this all that while ago. But I don't know. I can't determine for myself what, why I would necessarily need this. But I think on top of having these, if I apply an action, I think you can still also edit them as well. So I suppose in some way, having a system like this, where you can apply these, you could have more. You would have a range of expressions, I suppose. Whereas opposed to a pose library, you would have several different buttons you would have to click. Like, say if I wanted, we have this angry, and then it goes to, even more. I would have to have 2 different pose assets of anger to do that. Whereas this is just a slider, and I move it down. But then how many do I do? I don't know. It's one of those things where I personally wouldn't know the best answer for. So, I don't really know what else to do with that. And really, another problem with this, modifier system is, how many fucking action modifiers are you going to end up with? Because, just for the eyes, just these portions alone, we have one for anger, we have one for blinking, we have one for happy, and then add all the other possible expressions on the spectrum that you could possibly want, like shocked, scared, fucking whatever you want to add. It's going to compound a lot. And you're going to have a fuckload of constraints. I don't know if that's good. I really don't. Well and truly. So I'm just going to get rid of them for now. And let me save some of my work. I do quite like this pose here. Let me bring out the outliner. And I had some cameras I was using for this. This pose camera. There we go. Here we go. So this one was an extension of angry. So if we just, what was it? Eyes angry 2. We have an angrier version of angry, basically. And also, let me pull up the asset library here. That was supposed to be in eyes. Let's put that there. We don't have anything for the mouth, really. Basically, this is where I would put all the phonemes. If we were doing lip syncing, we could have all the different variant types of facial shapes for the mouth when we're talking. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we also have all the stuff from the happy. And I'm not too sure how I feel about these expressions. I think that one's pretty good, I think. So we'll just eyes. Happy? Yeah. That's pretty good. How do I feel about this? Not too sure. I don't really know how I feel about that action pose. We'll just not worry about it. All right. Another thing that I need to work on for my control, the character's eyes need to be able to dilate, because I'm sure I'll want control over that at some point or another, and currently I do not have that kind of control. So we're going to work on that. Let's see here now. I'll do this. We're going to add a shape key. All right, so this will be we'll do pupil X scale. Let me go on the basis, and I want to pull this forward a bit more and scale that up. There we go. So this, I want it to scale in like that. All right, and then we'll have another version. This will be relative to the pupil X scale, and we'll be calling it pupil Y scale. And basically, I think we scale it in like that, I think. Yeah. So basically we can have control over the eyes like this, and then any kind of axis in between. All right. So let's pull, I believe it was the eye track. Actually, let's grab these bones here. Wait, no. It wasn't that. It was mechanical bones? Ah. Okay. Okay, so let's clear that. I want to have control over the dilation of the character's eyes. This controls how far his eyes space out. And we scale on the y-axis. That does nothing. Actually, do I have... Oh. I have an idea. Something I can do. Okay, so when we scale this to... Okay, let's copy this as a driver. And let's paste it here. So when this is scaled to 2, that's what we want. Edit driver, and then we'll... Where is it now? Open it. Driver editor. this point, I would like this to have a value of 1. So this F curve needs to be at a value of 2. There we go. And then go back here, we reverse the scale. And when it's at 1, we need to set it to 0. Okay, keyframe of 1. There we go. Perfect. So there we go. And then scale on the z-axis, we'll do the same. We'll do a similar thing. So it's, you know what? Copy this driver and paste it here. Edit it. And we want scale 2, because that should be the z-axis, right? So if we scale, yes. All right. That would do it. We can make him. There we go. Whoa. But no. Scale on the Y, please. There we go. I was not wanting to do that. There we go. And we could control this a bit better just by, let's see here. Let's put this at 2, and then we can just single keyframe. Where is that? Insert single keyframe. There we go, constrict X, and then I think we can just do, how do I do this? Because there should be a way to just sort of set this to action, right? Or as mark it as a, if I go to the outliner, can I do that? We need to be in the blend files. There we go. And then we're working with I constrict. Yes. This. Mark as asset. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's do that. Revert the scale. Then we'll do 1 for the Z. Set that to 2. Constrict Y. Okay. Mark as asset. There we go. 1 second. Those do not belong. There we go. And then let's do that again. And then set these both to that. There we go. And then we'll do eyes dilate. And then we'll do mark asset. There we go. So now we should be able to control things like that. I was hoping I'd be able to undo it just by sliding it back on that way, but that doesn't seem to be the case. All right. But I think that's about all I would really need. Have those kind of controls. Shame I can't go backwards. Is there any way I can play with that on the asset property itself? So those were not applied, so let's throw them in there. 1 second, put that in eyes. There we go. No other properties, it would seem. Shame. But there we go. Just some controls that allow us to do that. This, I think, probably would be one of the ones that should control with armature, because with those other constraints with the expressions, I felt that would get a bit complicated, but this would probably be better suited for this. Because here I have 3 separate controls, one for each axis, and technically there's a redundancy here because we have these shorten X and Y, whereas this expands both X and Y. So this is not too great. But they're helpful for right now until I set that up. That I'm probably going to do. I actually might end a bit earlier than I'm anticipating. I think I had plans. I realize it's getting a bit closer to when I'm supposed to be doing stuff, so I might have to bail. I might have to bail pretty quickly. But other than that, I think that's going to be good for the eyes to be able to having controls for this for the eyes, and then maybe some liberties to shrink them even further if I really wanted to. I think that's going to be helpful for expression, that is. But I am probably going to go now. I got things to do, and unfortunately, I've about run out of time. So I will see everyone later, and I will probably do more with this. Yeah, no problem. Unfortunately, it was short, but, you know, it is what it is. I will see everyone later. Probably tomorrow. That being said, goodbye.